more confidence going into the game, and really does that help you play at that next step, whether it's a small step or a big step?
Oh, definitely. If you have a draft advantage, it just makes it much easier for you to play, right? Because you know like your timings, you know what you need, and you know every time you have a timing, you're actually going to be able to use it pretty easily. You just smoke up, find a team fight, and you're probably going to win that one if you play your cards right. Yeah. But just in general, also QQQ bringing in just fresh wind in general, you know, can really help out a team that's struggling right now. And it might be all EHOME needs, because they do have the talent. They just didn't really manage to show what they're capable of.
Yeah, that breath of fresh air is always something to look out for. You see it in a lot of different like areas, like sports as well. A hockey coach gets fired the next week, all of a sudden the team's got that like brand new feeling again to them, or like even in football, European football, not American football, but like you get that new coach and it's just like, you know, there's a reason he left, so we've got to play better. Now we're playing around somebody really strong, and for here, it's playing around QQQ and his drafts.
Yeah, always been a big fan of his drafts. He's just a very smart guy in general.
Yeah.
When it comes to strategy, having a little pause here once again. Lane so far going very well for EHOME, leading the CS chart on all 3 cores.
And they're leading by a small margin right now. I would say the one that surprises me the most maybe is the fact that Yang's only got 6 last hits.
Yeah, he's struggling quite a bit against this ET IO lane, which isn't weak at all, but you know, at lower levels the lane isn't really that strong. So I'm also pretty surprised that the Beast isn't having a little bit of a better early game.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a Beastmaster. Like, there are a lot of ways to catch back up. He's just gonna go and rush that Necro. Still a lot of kill potential available. This Void Spirit Storm matchup is pretty Storm favored in the lane. But come mid-game, you naturally itemize into a Yule Scepter, which is why people consider Void Spirit very strong against Storm Spirit. Because of course he builds in that Orchid. Yule's is a defensive measure against that, as well as an offensive measure against the Storm, catching him very easily. That Yule's Remnant.
It's also, though, then about the Weaver, too, right? Because like, there's so much mobility with this lineup from EHOME. So is the Yule's going to be enough from the Void Spirit? If there is an Orchid on the Storm, maybe there's like damage coming in from the rest of these teams. They've got a Hex and a stun from the Lion. Like, Fade's going to be right on you. So even if you Yule's, you might be setting yourself up to get Hex and stunned by the Lion.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential disable coming out from the Dice side here. But I am thinking that FY is going to go for Orchid eventually. We see that a lot in the post for Wyvern. They usually go Boots into Magic Wand into just Orchid, especially against these mobility lineups. Would make a lot of sense here too. Against the Weaver, against the Lion, against really everyone on the team.
So the lane's pretty quiet for now.
Yeah, not much happening.
We saw this though in Southeast Asia. The deeper and deeper we got into the season, teams got a little bit more comfortable and careful. You throw the Tombstone bottom, but this really isn't going to amount to anything except a cooldown. A cooldown of 85.
Yeah, interesting skill build here. No level in Soul Rip at all.
They need to protect this Tombstone. Yeah, they just gave away 125 gold to Chalice.
Yeah. It's super bad if that happens in the early game. 125 is basically 3 melee creeps. Not a little more.
So Chalice is on this offlane Weaver. You know, obviously we've seen offlane Weavers in the past where they've gone like Ags early on. Is that something we think that we're going to see here in this game where you're looking to go into that Ags, or is that not the build anymore for Weaver?
I do think it can still work, that build. It's just when you have an IO, you want somebody that actually right-clicks with him.
Right.
So I do expect him to just go into Maelstrom, possibly Gleipnir to get some more catch, you know. But I do expect him to transition to a right-clicker. Top lane, we just see some more Harris on Yang. Really not too much happening.
Yeah, things pretty quiet, but a lead overall right now for EHOME of already 1,000 gold.
They're doing very well, especially in the top lane.
Vortex coming through over mid on the Somnus, who is behind on XM.
But he got a regional now.
Ooh, does he?
Or does he?
Stun comes in, and now you might just get first blood. After this,
got
the
it.
X comes through. Regen picked up for XM, and he'll also get first blood. Tombstone off cooldown committed for this kill, or this attempt at a kill. They will end up trading mids, but Red Panda's a +1. Yeah, more gold on that tombstone.
That's almost a hero kill, really. And he still has the Region Rune. Once he gets back, he's going to be level 6 with that Region Rune. There's a lot of potential for outplays here on a Storm Spirit now. Yeah, early game going super well for EHOME. And Elephant, again, struggling. Not what we expect from this lineup, but I just feel like a broken record, really. We just keep saying that every game.
Yeah.
We'll see what this team really needs to wake up.
I mean, I spoke about EHOME's inconsistency, but I didn't even talk about how Elephant's been just the same. They've been pretty inconsistent themselves.
I don't know if it's really inconsistency in their case or just like not being able to at all harness the potential they have. It's pretty strange, really. Or XM might be in trouble. He has the Region Rune.
Yeah, Splinter Blast comes in, the right click damage. He's not level 6, so he doesn't have the ball lightning, and that will mean he stays close to Somnus, close enough for him to get killed off again.
Completely unnecessary death there. And now his Region Rune is gonna pop pre-level 6. So usually what you do with the Region Rune is either you get a kill on the side lane with the Region Rune, or you just farm jungle, you get almost 1 or 2 levels for free. Because of course you have this infinite mana, but now it will be wasted completely. So that was a very unnecessary risk to take by XM. And we've said just like 5 minutes ago, he is very, very different from before, you know? Like, you don't have the same feeling of consistency from him.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of these very uncharacteristic mistakes, which might really slow down his game a lot.
I'm not really certain why he's making an aggressive play like that, where the changing style has come from. So XM forced back into the jungle. He's trying to take a stack right now, still sitting at level 5 while you have level 6, almost level 7 for the Void Spirit. So Somnus, with those 2 kills, like...
Yeah, he did get 6 on the Storm, so he can farm all these stacks, no problem.
Yeah, has that rejoin.
Just in time. So that's good for him. And we just see the Undying getting picked off by the Weaver. Lion combination. Here's a very strong dual lane. Dual range, of course. Weaver in general, one of the strongest laners in the game. Lion offering a lot of disable, just amplifying his strength, going in on heroes here as well. But FY with a good rotation.
Yeah, very dangerous under the tower. The Arctic Burn thrown over at Fade as well as Chalice. Chalice needs to be careful as he pops that wand, and he's actually going into the Falcon Blade to start.
Already 2k gold ahead. Damn. They're really owning this early game here. Even though they're only leading by 1 kill, they have really gotten the better out of the lanes.
Yeah, Chalice is so far ahead. He's at 3,600 net worth. Compare that over to the Beastmaster. He's got 1,200 more gold. Like, it's such an advantage right now for this Weaver, and we'll see if it activates early for EHOME. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. And he is going into the item build that we mentioned. Falcon Blade into the Maelstrom. Really just wants to deal that right-click damage, because Storm is going to deal all the magic damage. Io later on is just going to be able to sustain the Weaver really nicely. Makes a lot of sense. Hex on Void Spirit here. Should just be a free kill on Lion.
Yeah, they've got the stun, though, and now the Swarm comes in. Aether Remnant locks up Fade. Resonant Pulse is the finishing blow. Ooh, Astral Step and a double there for Somnus, getting Chalice just on the edge.
Yeah, Chalice stayed behind, very greedy to kill a Tombstone, which he did, but giving up your life for it is probably not worth it. Good rotation there by Somnus, they really needed that.
Now he's got that Falcon Blade.
Might have lived if he had it before.
Potentially, yeah. I think it would have been close. But that extra gold from the Tombstone, I guess it's like a consolation prize. Like, yeah, you've given up your life. It may not be worth it, but you're getting something out of the exchange.
Yeah, it's not the worst for sure. Like, you don't die for free. Helm of Dominator now picked up on the Io, which means now it's OS Frog time. 500 MS, let's go.
Necrobook 1 for Yang. He's going Naked Book. Ball Lightning all the way through. Look for Yang. Have 3 heroes here. They've got the stun. They'll have the Hex and the kill.
Red Panda
shows up, and he looks like he's just going to die. Soul Rips to survive. These heroes on the side of EHOME need to be careful.
No more steps.
Somnus with a step in 2 seconds, but already backing away, so Fade and Ajit will get out safely.
Both mids rotating here, but Somnus did not get anything out of it, and Storm Spirit is going... No boots Orchid, okay. Usually we see brown boots at least into Orchid, but he's going no boots Orchid. Not a big fan of that. You limit yourself quite a bit in terms of jungle speed and everything.
Right.
Let's see if it pays off, because that 500 gold you easily get back by just being able to farm faster with the boots.
Do you think he feels a little bit of pressure after those 2 deaths to just make something happen around the map with an Orchid?
It's possible, but it's also that Void Spirit is having not the greatest game, so his Yules will be quite late as well. So you have quite a long time to make use of that Orchid, even if you do not go boots.
For sure. Somnus spotting Ajit. But XM's here, they need to be careful. They've got the Hex and Ball Lightning in with the stun to follow it up. Primal Roar is used, but that's not for anything more than a defensive play. That doesn't work out for them. Somnus is dead regardless of the fact of if Yang had thrown that or not.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eurus taking a lot of beating.
Yeah, I mean, he just got hexed by a line that just walked up. He has a lot of movement speed, to be fair. He went Tranquil Boots into Windlace. Now battling it out for the top bounty runes. EHOME should be securing 3 here. Impale on Wyvern.
Yeah, they've got the Hex. They'll have the Ball Lightning with the Vortex. That's an easy kill on
He's out of mana now, though.
They catch XM trying to leave.
He has no boots. He's done.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, the relocate. No!
Can't get the relocate. Now he's coming back. That's a problem. They need to keep Fade nearby. He needs to get mana to try and help him. They should be able to surround him and look for his tether targets.
Radiant's top tower.
And they'll kill Fade. Can they kill Ajit? They don't have an Astral Step.
Yeah, he's just out. Like, the tether is too good. I'm surprised they didn't try to set up for the IO, but then again, they have very limited disables. Raw was on cooldown. Winter Wyvern was not there.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have the Primal Roar, which you used in a pretty poor situation, you know, Somnus was dead regardless. If you hold it there, and I think there's opportunity for you to get another kill on top of the 2 that you got in that exchange.
Definitely. You gotta be very careful when you have limited disables, how you use the ones that you have.
Yeah.
Orchid, just 100 gold away from it now. PA farming away, going to Battle Fury. Tread's Battle Fury, not the fastest Battle Fury timing. So he's going greed, but not full greed, which might backfire in the end.
Yeah, certainly interesting that he's going to go for the Battle Fury. You know, we've talked about Battle Fury in both Southeast Asia as well as China, how this lineup, or how this build-up doesn't really allow you to fight too early on. You need, like, Battle Fury plus 1 or 2 items.
So you can just see this Weaver, he's just running around circles, but the overstate is welcome here.
He's got that ulti, so they need to be ready for this. Aether Remnant locks him down, and he won't even be able to get it off. Somnus gets the kill on a Chalice. Really well done there by Elephant.
I don't know what he was doing there all by himself. He was very, let's just call it cocky. Smoke up here. They still have Raw available.
Ball Lightning in. This is the Orchid reveal. They'll go after Somnus. Should get an easy kill on the Void Spirit. Primal Roar is going to be used onto the Elder Titan, but over on the other side of the fight, Red Panda's being taken out by XM. Really low already, and everything on cooldown for the Undying. There's the Vortex pulling him in, getting the kill on a Red Panda. Now Fade falls. X-Nova with a 2-man sweep. Ajit trying to hit away. Ball Lightning.
Regen rune.
Picks up a regen rune in the middle of the fight. And now Eurus is trying to go in on this. They've got the Orchid. X-Nova getting low. He'll end up falling, but Eurus is looking like he's going to die in return. And he does. So Eurus drops. FY trying to fly his way through the trees, but the trees have been destroyed. And FY now very open for another kill for EHOME. Somnus comes in, maybe trying to get one on the exit, but that's just walking into an Orchid. A big problem for him is Red Panda's respawn, throws down a Tombstone. Aster
in trouble.
Aether Remnant, Ajit in trouble, but tethers over to XM, not onto the high ground, and the Astral Step from Somnus allows him to get the kill.
And no boots on Storm. It only has 400 mana, very limited.
Orchid. The Vortex, XM trying to walk away. Somnus now dealing with not a lot of health, but he does have another sip in that bottle. Won't continue to chase onto the Storm.
Yeah, this exchange was really just dictated by the 2 runes that the Storm had. He started the fight with an Arcane rune, killing the Void Spirit, and then the Undying right after. He goes back to the bottom rune and just picks up a Regen rune. Both Arcane and Regen rune active on Storm Spirit is just way too much to deal with in this early game, especially if you have no stuns available.
And he really got lucky, didn't he? Because he was walking away from that fight, no mana, and
it's
then
not luck.
For Regen rune.
He paid the Gaben tax.
Yeah, his battle pass was probably in the 5k, 6k. He gets
Probably.
to just get the regen rune at will.
Yeah, I know a lot of my Chinese friends in my Steam list. They were up in the 5, 10ks. Yeah, some of them were real ham. We do have a finger available here as well. A lot of burst potential coming out, and already leading 3k.
Radiant are scanning.
It's 3k, but I feel like EHOME need to be up a little bit more. If Phantom Assassin's given enough time to get to this Battle Fury at a decent timing, it is pretty slow from Eurus, though.
Yeah, that's because he went Treads first. He's probably going to have it at this rate, minute 16, 17, which is not the worst, it's not the best. Means they're quite slow to come online. And they definitely have the tools to pressure right now. Still no Yules on Somnus, so there's a lot of time.
Winter's
Oh,
Curse,
Curse
that
on the
gets
Storm.
used on it too. They've got the Tombstone down to follow it up. The Aether in there to get the kill on the XM. They'll look over at Fade, take out both. Yang dominating. He had a tough lane, but he is getting kills here.
And just as we said, there's a lot of time to pressure. They both get picked off easily. And weathering the storm here a little bit, just defending all the towers. Very good movements from Elephant here right now.
Which they really need, considering how far behind they were.
Yeah, they didn't even scout the smoke. They were just completely prepared for it, reading the map very well here. Euros, 1 ring of health away from the Battle Fury.
Chalice is coming towards top.
Can't really do too much though.
They want to set up though.
Yeah, but he's just gonna run away and or just be away.
P, can Lion get there in time now?
He was very aware that he just respawned. There's no way that Lion could ever reach him, and Storm was dead as well.
Orchid picked up now for the IO as well, so Ajit as well as XM both have Orchid.
Interesting. It's not bad, but I'm just not a big fan of like overlapping his strengths, you know? I feel like if he just went into Aghanims, made himself a bit more tanky.
Ooh, Ajit getting spotted here, slowed down thanks to the Necro Creeps. They've got the Primal Roar. Red Panda coming in, the 8th Remnant lands, and Ajit will be dead. They throw in a Nerve Splitter that will hit onto Yang, but I don't know how much more damage they have for this. The Tombstone's down, and Chalice just trying to get some gold here. It ends up getting denied by Red Panda. They get the kill on Axe Nova, and it's 2 kills for Elephant with no casualties at the moment. But look at this, XM trying to go in. FY just surviving with the Cold Embrace. They've got themselves the 8th Remnant and the damage from Eurus. EHOME, they had a lead.
Now it's gone.
And now it's gone, yeah.
And now, Battle Fury online. Suddenly the top 3 are not top. Storm is falling off real hard.
Yeah.
He got punished so many times for his over-aggression. And now it's time for PA to just really farm up. Yule Scepter already picked up on Void Spirit. Now that Orchid timing is all gone, he suddenly doesn't care so much anymore about these Orchids. As I said, Ayo picking up Orchid is pretty... it's not all in, but you're putting all the eggs in one early game basket, really. Like, if you don't itemize into the Aghanim Scepter, your scalability is very limited. Lion top lane, Invis, setting up potentially for a Wyvern here, who is itemizing into the Orchid as well.
It's a lot of Orchids. A lot of ways to silence, especially if you get that Ags for the Void Spirit, right?
Storm is TPing, initiation now, and he's dead.
Yeah, stun, finger, there's a stack. XM gets the kill. Fade happy to get a +1 on that
First
stack.
finger in 17 minutes also.
He's been really conservative because he's had level 6 for a while.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's level 10 now. Raw again.
Yeah, Primal Roar, this should lead to a kill on X Nova. No way for him to leave. Yang with another one. He's now unstoppable, sitting 6-1 and 3. So after the hard lane that he had, he's made quite the comeback.
Yeah, we can really just see the power of Beastmaster here. Once you get this Neko 3 online with the Purge, attack speed aura, it's just a lot of damage coming out. He has to be careful here, though. He's very isolated.
Chalice, Ajit, as well as Fade coming over.
They don't really have the best ways to catch, though, without Storm. It just TPs out in front of him. Okay. Why not?
Wow.
Also, Ayo sitting at 571 movement speed without boots. Very balanced.
Don't even need him.
Dota is such a silly game. Sometimes. Oftentimes.
I just look across to you and see how amused you are.
Yeah,
I had no boots, 500 plus movement speed, 580. Oh my god.
Who needs a haste rune? I'm faster than that.
Relentless. Like this.
Weaver needs his BKB ready. Now that Wyvern is very close to his Orchid, Storm is quite afraid. He's also itemizing into the Lincolns. Good. As though he's listening to me. Do I have microphones in my head, brain? Nope. Okay, no microchips. Smoke up here, 4 people. Ayo by himself, of course, can relocate in. They really do have to stop this PA now from snowballing.
Yeah, Eurus has gotten enough time in a couple of exchanges where it's really pushed the net worth of this Phantom Assassin.
Yang is worth a lot of gold here. If they can catch him somehow, it would be massive for EHOME. But again, Elephant reading the map very well. Completely avoiding that smoke gank.
Now they're on the high ground. They should be okay. Yang's courier gets taken out.
So now they're all rotating bottom. I'm sure Euros knows that though. So after this wave, he's probably just going to TP out.
Radiant's middle tower is under
And
attack.
EHOME is just really getting outplayed here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But that's also the difference in level of these players, right? Like, we expect Elephant to be the better players,
Sure.
but we also liked EHOME's draft a lot more.
Tower is under attack.
It's a lot easier to execute, but it's just they're wasting so much time right now on EHOME, and they're making really good use of it on Elephant here.
Right.
Very good map movement overall. I mean, you always saw that Elephant, you know, had these really skilled players. It's just in team fights and stuff, the communication always seems to be a little bit lackluster. Just never really comes together. But so far this game, they have clawed their way back into the game very nicely.
Like Elephant before DPC were playing
Completely different team.
completely different. Looked like the #1 team in the region. Since DPC has started, that's definitely been questioned.
Many times, yeah.
That being said, you know, you've got teams that are overperforming where people thought they would be, but also getting back to performances.
DDPA, potential for Roche here. Always a bit risky against Elder Titan, of course.
Yeah.
But he does have his Desolator now, so that might be a Roche on timing.
They're setting up like they want to go for it.
Spirit already inside, though.
Or at least looking to smoke.
PA right now, she can one-shot the Lion.
Yeah.
He has a Blink Dagger, though, so he is quite mobile. Has to be careful he doesn't get caught out, though. PA with this kind of item build did a lot of damage, but is very, very easily killed as well. If she ever gets hexed or stunned, she can die just in an instant.
What would you like to see from PA going forward?
That's just cookie cutter already. You just go BKB into Abyssal Blade. Just want that lockdown, the additional security of that BKB.
Right.
You need it this game. Because none of their spells go through BKB. Once you have BKB, you're already the king of the fight.
Dire's middle tower
Summoners
is under
itemizing
attack.
into the Aghanim's. Very standard build as well. Orchid now finished on Wyvern, giving additional kill threat against that Storm. Who now does have a Linken's, or rather 100 gold away from Linken's. And they might catch him just before he gets it, actually.
Radiant's
Smoke
top
up here.
tower is under
That would be a
attack.
big catch for them. But they just miss him, and they... Well, not just miss him. They just don't go that direction.
Yeah. Linken's now in the courier. They do have about 15 seconds or so. But
Dire's
are they just going Roche? They're just going to Roche Pit.
Let's see how quickly they take this and what the reaction is from EHOME.
Radiant's
He has to
top
send the Spirit now, and he does so. It's a lot of damage,
I
though.
don't
It's
think
too
it's going to
late.
be in time. It's just short of the timing.
That's the thing with PA Destro. Like, you take Roshan so fast, especially with the Beastmaster and the Flash Golem as well. You're not on top of it right away, it's gone. And now this PA with Aegis is really, really threatening.
Certainly looking to maybe make a jump here to fight
Sleep
this.
on 3?
That's a good sweep. They've got the finger and now the Earth Splitter. Can they get the damage out onto this Void Spirit? Winter's Curse keeping him alive. They have the silence. Mules up into the air. The damage coming out onto X Nova. He needs to be very careful to dissimulate. They've got the Primal Roar that's out on a Chalice. Chalice is gone. They took out this Weaver. They'll get the kill on X Nova. 2 heroes finished off very quickly. And that was a BKB from Chalice. He gets immediately Primal Roared and killed. His 10-second BKB worthless in that fight.
Yeah, there's too much physical damage coming out.
Ooh, Lincoln's popped.
Oh, close. He had Orchid available as well. Like, he was just like 50 range away from it. That connects, Storm Spirit is dead. He does get out though. They kind of got baited into initiation there by Elder Titan, who admittedly got a really good splitter off, but the Glimmer Cape of Undying just keeping the Void Spirit alive, who's very tanky now, sitting at 2.3k health.
You know, we watched this
Yeah,
again.
here again, yeah. They're all going on him, but you see the Glimmer Cape, you see Undying healing up the Void Spirit, and you blew your entire load on the Void Spirit, you can't kill him. The fight is practically over. He runs in with Weaver, with BKB, gets roared, and dies in 1 second to the PA.
It just got delivered, and he pops it immediately, hit with the Primal Roar.
PA deals too much physical damage. BKB itself does not help you against that.
That is
Go on,
really
Orchid it.
unfortunate. Yeah, silence is in. 2 right clicks from Eurus.
Roar on
Another
5. Have to be careful here.
This game is really falling out of control for EHOME.
It's almost impossible at this point to fight for EHOME, really. I don't even know what to do against this 5-man. They have Pipe, they have Glimmer Cape, they have Aghanim's, they have this physical damage of the PA. It's super tough to initiate into it now. They had all the cards in their hand, but didn't manage to really do much with it in the early game, unfortunately. Didn't transition into a good mid-game, and now they're paying the price for it.
It seems like a bit of an itemization
Weaver.
problem.
Be careful here. Oh! And straight into it.
Yeah, Primal Roar and Winter's Curse are stacked.
That
so
means he might
that
be able
might
to-
let him live. They have the
He's
Orchid.
orchided, but he's actually out.
Yeah, Fate's here to protect
Miscommunication
him.
here from FY and Yang.
Yeah, they stacked the Primal Roar and the Winter's Curse.
Yeah. If I had to choose one to blame, Eurus.
Eurus now here with the Orchid. I just don't know if he has the damage. Maybe with Ajit. Orchid burn.
Wands, Elder
Aegis.
Titan dipping in, Lion there as well. Eurus might just be dead here. Finger available.
They've got everything here to get
And
this
dead.
kill. That's a big one to get.
That's a very uncharacteristic mistake here by Eurus, getting picked out like that. Usually does not happen to him. Maybe the communication a bit flooded, you know, like, why do you winter ult him? He's like, guys, relax, I can't play.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But yeah, it's a big blunder, for sure.
Radiant's top tower is
For sure.
Oh,
Big blunder.
Beastmaster got slapped.
Sweep. Tombstone down. They need to be careful how far they want to go into this. They've got the stun to follow it up. Yang getting low. 6 times spree going the way of XM.
Now Elephant is dropping the ball, just like EHOME did.
Yeah, and now the game's back to even.
Sloppy plays,
Dire's bottom
not something you would
tower is
really
under attack.
associate with a team like Elephant, but right now, really, 3 in a row. Curse, Raw Stack, PA getting picked off, Beast getting picked off, all by
Dire's
themselves.
bottom tower has
Yeah.
fallen.
With, you know, it's uncharacteristic of these players solo, but something we've kind of learned to
Accept, I
accept
guess.
from Elephant. Like
Not something
we're
we want to
seeing.
see, but yeah, PA 400 away from BKB. After that, as we said, she's going to be the king of the game, unless she gets instant hexed, which is a possibility always against Lion. Core players hate Lion. There's no BKB here. Lion is in position already. Finger in 20. Storm is ready as well.
Ooh, blink forward, but a slow reaction to get that hex. Now the damage coming out, the Winter's Curse, the damage in to kill off Fade. They've got the Orchid as well as the Ball Lightning Vortex
damage.
coming through onto Eurus, but the Cold Embrace keeping him alive. Eurus thinking about going into Ajit, who's about
Crit.
to go away. Can he get a crit in time? Whoa, no.
Spirit. He
Somnus.
did not have vision of him.
He wanted it.
X-Nova? Wow, he went in all by himself.
Tombstone, and there's the
he's
Stifling
dead.
Dagger. 3 shots. All needed.
So many, let's call it individualistic plays here. Like, there was no need for X-Nova to run in there at the very end. A very good recognition, though, by FY protecting his PA there. He would have died for sure, but instead he gets a return kill on the line, saves his PA. Super good play by FY.
Yeah, FY who's got an interesting 4 build for this winter
Right,
wagon
Shadow
going
Blade?
on.
Tower is
Yeah,
under
it's really just like, I want to just catch the important heroes. Like, he wants to kill his Lion, so his PA and his Void Spirit have a good game. Potentially get on top of the Storm with the Curse. I like that item build a lot. It's a very threatening +4 build. And a lot of damage too. His right click right now deals 200 damage per hit. Which is more than the PA. Which is more than anybody in the game, really.
Everybody running away from Phantom Assassin. It's not the one you need to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, FY is level 16. He's like super high level 4+4 here. Going Shadow Blade into Witchblade.
Do you still go for the Cold Embrace cooldown? Just to continue to try and help your teammates?
Yeah,
or if
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
Shadow Blade Orchid, do you want the Arctic Burn slow and just chase?
The 12% is really not that much. It's already 40% slow. You have Strifling Daggers, you have Flash Golem, you have the zombies, the boars. There's a lot of slow coming out already.
Yeah, you've
4
got
seconds
enough.
is very valuable.
Making it 11 from 15.
Yeah.
That could be a difference maker in saving your Phantom Assassin.
Now with this BKB, the ball is really in Elephant's court here. If PA gets caught out, which is really hard because he will just be there farming Blurred, you can't hex a Blurred target, obviously. If you blink next to him, there's like half a second fade time. Yours is way too good, you know. He's not gonna get hexed after half a second. Lion, Weaver on the prowl here.
Somnus spotting Fade, getting an easy kill.
Or is he?
Alright, fine. It goes that fly.
Radiant's courier has been
I actually thought they were just, you know, not looking at him anymore. Suddenly he gets his hex out and this.
Ooh,
PA?
Eurus has been spotted by XM. And
He has BKB though.
jumps away, but into Chalice.
Had to pop a BKB
Now he's
after all.
fine.
Again, all by himself in front of the base. It's very strange. We don't see this too often.
Yeah, that's a 10-second BKB.
It's not something you want to use on nothing, really. On a Weaver Gemini attack.
Yeah. I don't even know if... He probably wants to be better safe than sorry, but I don't
Sure.
know if he needed to use it there.
hard picked up on IO. I mean, the mistake there was just the positioning. It wasn't the usage of the BKB. Yeah, now IO is sitting at 3.5k health. Whoever he's tethered to is going to be insanely tanky. Whether that's the Weaver or the Storm. But a lot of damage coming out from Elephant here. With the Flash Golem, with the PA. PA plus Flash Golem is probably about 2,000 damage a crit. So you will need that AC up eventually as well. IO sitting at 13 armor. Of course, PA reducing all that by 9. Or no, 13 actually as the Orb of Corrosion. Or Orb of Destruction as well. So minus 13 armor, putting IO at effectively 0.
Jeez.
Radiant are scanning.
Weaver forward FY here with a Shadow Blade. He's going to get some vision. The Sentry comes down. They have the Orchid, so they silence up this Weaver, and now Winter's Curse will lock him up. Shikuchi available once he's out, but the Aether Remnant's on point. Here's going the other way, getting the kill on to X Nova. Time-lapse used. FY just trying to survive this. Chalice realizes he just doesn't have the damage and survivability around these two heroes, so he BKB TPs.
Yeah, with recognition that they don't have a bash or anything of the like.
Ooh, Yang caught by himself with that Orchid, and the burn, with the help from Ajit's Spirits, will get the kill.
The mech just like a millisecond too late. If the mech, if he heals him with the mech, I think he is going to be just fine because he has a Glimmer Cape as well. But just didn't get there. Dota, a game of milliseconds, of course.
Yeah, really close, and there's the Ags now for the Weaver.
Yep. Roshan up in 1 minute. They do have a lot of survivability on the Dire, but I'm a bit worried of their for the damage output, really. What do they have right now? Not much.
Yeah.
IO will be the main
lacking.
damage dealer here. It is possible they have a lot of sustained damage. It's just they don't really have burst damage. They do have the possible tools to kite out that BKB though. Once BKB is gone from PA, not easy for him to fight.
Have to be careful.
Yeah. For EHOME, it's all a kiting game, really. You wanna last out those BKBs, those cooldowns, Roar, Winter's Curse. If you can do that, you're gonna be in a really good position to take the fight.
So EHOME are grouping up.
Yeah. XM, BKB, and Lincoln Sphere. Very defensive item ability as well.
Red Panda with a Glimmer Cape just walking up onto the high ground. And they've also got the Hawk Vision, so they'll throw down their own Sentry.
He's really tanky on Red Panda.
Red Panda in such an interesting spot, though. Avoid the sleep. They know where they are. Ball Lightning comes in, but they pop the Lincolns. They have the Winter's Curse. Astral Step, that's right across the bow of XM. Finger already used. There's the mech, so he'll heal
Just
up.
dies in one
They'll
hit.
Get the kill on to XM. Eurus just blasting right through him, and now over to the rest.
Another crit.
Ax Nova getting blown up by Eurus, and Eurus still going in with BKB. Chalice on the run now.
Another
of
crit.
Course, there's the crit. The batches all coming through. Chalice gone. Ajit falls. Everybody dead on the side of EHOME. Elephant coming out ahead on the back of some crits here from Eurus.
And we said it before, you know, you have all this health, but if you're getting put into negative armor, raw health is really not effective HP at all. 2 crits, IO is gone. And Weaver died on the back of it because he got cleaved off the crit.
Yeah. Eurus did 9,000 damage that fight.
Yeah, and like just a couple of
Just a
seconds, and
second,
now they're going to
just
your
gonna go for
force.
force.
Suddenly the game is just over.
Wow.
Alright, I guess that's all it takes when you have a Beastmaster in your team. One good fight, and you're done.
They're going to try and finish this one off. They still have 20 plus seconds until Weaver and Storm are back up. They'll at least expose.
Yes, be
finish
really
here.
careful on IO here.
Thrown in trouble. There's the jump forward. Somnus going in,
bite
getting
on
the
the
kill
line.
on a fade. They'll just call GG. Elephant take game 1. Wow, EHOME crumbling under the pressure that Elephant brought.
The last fight was just, yeah, it was
The
all the
Euro show?
Euro show, yeah.
Yeah.
Jumps in, crits a guy, jumps to the next guy, crits the guy, jumps to the next guy, crits the guy, kills the other guy with the cleave. Why not? But really, it was all in EHOME's court in the early game. They had the
Yeah.
tools to stop the PA from farming, did not manage to do so. They just got picked off one by one. It's a shame to see, really, because I did like their draft a lot. They played really well in the early game. They just
Yeah.
couldn't transition to mid game again, which seems to be a recurring theme for their team.
It seems to be an issue for them, and they got to really figure it out, especially with their record right now, where they stand on the table.
They won 3.
They're 1-3. Like that's and
This
this
loss
is
could
important. Could be the no major line, like
Yes.
for sure. And Elephant too. Like this is a big one for them as well.
Who didn't play perfectly, but
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah, it's close. Game 1, going the way of Elephant. But to break it down a little bit further, we've got the panel. Back over to you guys.
Elephant showing glimpses of their former glory, but still a bit of a way off. But still, good performance and enough to secure them game number 1. Guys, were we convinced by the Elephant performance in this first match?
Early.
Not so much,
Yeah.
you know, but they managed to make it work, which is what matters. In the end, EHOME had a really good draft. I still think they did, and they just didn't execute properly. We can see like Weaver and Storm Spirit overextending a couple of times, like Storm Spirit rushing Orchid, getting kills here and there, but also dying a lot of the times after getting those kills. And if you look at their like draft, they need to be able to snowball, because Weaver is not a traditional offlaner. You don't have a real front line. And Elephant used their weaknesses. Like, look at it, Storm Spirit's going in, he's gonna get a kill, probably die after that. I've seen that movie multiple times this game. Elephant, however, managed to recover a couple of mistakes by Eurus as well, overextending, like him trying to hit the tier 2 tower while the rest of the team is not there. Some very weird stuff happening, but in the end, like, yeah, this is the fight where everything breaks. Elephant, a couple of crits. Black was amazed by the crits. It's like he was the first time seeing what Hero does.
One crit after another, and another crit, and another crit. So many crits coming from the PA, but
It's almost like it's inbuilt to the hero or something like that. It was crazy.
so one big question that we had in the opening drafting panel was this Weaver. What will Chalice be able to do coming into that offlane as a Weaver? The build Raid Band Maelstrom, Raid Band Falcon Blade Maelstrom into BKB Aghanims. The only big utility that you bring with that Weaver is that Aghanims later on, which is pretty solid, right? When you have a Storm, when you have an IO, like, there's a lot of healing going on that Aghanims really can come in handy, but it's also been nerfed heavily. That's why we don't even see Weavers on position 4 or even offlane, because you have to be real close to use that time lapse on
I
your
like the
allies.
thinking. It was a counter to potential Winter's Curse. You know, it works well, but in the end, like FY, he played amazing on the Winter Wyvern. He was pretty much their only stun, their only setup, and he used those curses nicely, followed up by some remnants from the Somnus. And yeah, and in the end, they managed to make it work with 2 supports who, you know, don't have much control.
The big question is, why did they open with IO plus Weaver? And that's to make this draft very ambiguous, right? Like, you open up with these 2 heroes that pretty much tell you Wisp most likely is a support because Weaver isn't played on offlane, right? But then they flex that Weaver on the offlane because he's playing versus an Undying, which also does make a lot of sense. Still, maybe if they didn't have Lion, but some brawler position 4, some brawler type position 4 that can actually get in there and start things off without initiating, well, let's say, Echo Stomp into Earth Split, because we've seen on the mid lane as well, I believe that's pretty much where the game was broken completely for EHOME. They get a 3-man stun, 3-man Echo Stomp into Splitter, they still don't manage to get a single kill off. Orchid as well, for me, on IO that early on, when you have it on Storm as well, is maybe a little bit questionable. You don't necessarily have to go for it. Go Dominator into Aghanims. Life is easy. It will tank you up. It will allow you to run on the enemy side of the map and just constantly fight. This IO was in the triangle a lot.
Do you kind of feel like there was a lack of understanding from Ajit on what the hero really excels at?
Yeah, I think they missed the timing, because when team is really strong, they already had 1 Orchid on the Storm Spirit, which was like 11 minutes in, so you don't necessarily need to go for the second one. Like, hitting that timing on the Aghanim Scepter, I think would be much better, would give you much more damage and not sustain, but like you can go in and out multiple times, and this is where IO with Ags really shine.
Alrighty, well, our MVP for game number 1 is going to be Chalice playing on the Beastmaster in that offlane position, throwing in some good roars, using that lockdown, and of course the summons as well to pressure the map early on. He was not the Weaver, I don't think, but he was a Beastmaster.
Chalice was the Weaver.
Wait,
Yang
was the Weaver?
was the Beastmaster.
Yang was the Beastmaster. I see. Well, this is a
MVP for the team
Weaver.
For the team that lost. Okay, I mean,
Why not? We don't see it very often. Sometimes,
you know, I'm down for that. You know, you don't necessarily need to win the game to be the MVP.
My bad.
Do you guys Remember when
I think that was my bad. But,
when we had Twitch chat all the time deciding who the MVP is?
Always Febby.
always Arteezy. The ones that have like 3-letter nicknames were always MVPs, and there we go. Yang, definitely more deserving one on the Beastmaster. Just not really having the best laning stage as well this time around, but he was playing versus an Elder Titan plus Io. Wasn't that easy. He was pretty much out-leveled by the Elder Titan at some point as well, but later on in the game he was always in the right positions to use that roar properly.
Not just the roar, but I love his itemization as well, like classic Necro 3 into Pipe, something that we don't see that often because Pipe got nerfed multiple times. It's a very costly item, but in this scenario I think it was a very good pickup just to nullify the magical damage that EHOME had, and kind of made them more tanky on top of Wyvern heal, Undying with multiple heals, so made the game very easy for them, this type of a build on Beastmaster.
Much more straightforward, and he was also making this Lion's game absolute hell, not just with the pipe, but also with his units. Like, he was just sending his units at the Lion almost every single team fight. Lion can't just stand there and tank Necros and Boars. Like, he has to do something about that, and in multiple engagements, he was dropping to, like, really low and even dying. Just to the summons. Like, it's good that you have this answer to the Void in the Lion, but this Lion was actually not allowed to play. He was completely oppressed by this,
it's hard. Like, it's a good thinking coming out from Yang, using his summons to set it on Lion, forcing him to like move away from a fight, and then your Void Spirit feels more safe, or just forcing him to use Impale, possibly even a Hex on some of those units, because you feel very vulnerable. You get slowed down, you're pretty much dead as a Lion. Yeah, it's a very hard game for him, and a very nice game from Elephant as they take the first match in the series, and can they pull out the second win and make this a clean 2-0? Very possibly, but you'll have to wait after this short break to find out. We'll see you very soon.
welcome back to the Dota Pro Circuit, where we're here in the Chinese region, brought to you by Perfect World. My name is Nomad, and joining me on the panel is Lizard and Lucas as we get into game number 2 in this best of 3 series. EHOME, they are down 1 game despite having a pretty tasty draft. Unfortunately, they just couldn't put it together in the game, and they end up dropping the first series. Game number 2. Are we expecting something a bit more cookie cutter? Is QQQ going to calm down and pick something a little bit more simple for them to execute, do we think?
Maybe on the offlane. Maybe on the offlane they'll have something a bit more standard for Chalice. Maybe some Beastmaster, Mars, whatever. Maybe not the Weaver that they just drafted out. Because if you're QQQ and if you drafted what you have drafted and you saw how the game resolved, like, you can be happy. I think the draft had more in store for EHOME. I think they could have executed that a little bit better if they itemized a little bit better. Let's say Storm doesn't go for that Lincolns or IO doesn't go for the Orchid. I believe the game could have went in a different way.
Well, be that as it may, it did go in that way. But talking about hero picks, we can actually have a look at the drafting comparison between the two teams. Now, throughout the league, this is the heroes they've been favoring, and the heroes each team have been playing more than each other. And as you can see, a lot of crossover between these two, as we see the Troll in the middle, obviously a hot pick for everybody right now. A lot of the usual suspects in the middle of this kind of drafting
the standard,
circles.
like Earthshaker, who's been really popular in Chinese region, Abaddon as position 5. We've seen it first time from Lanham. I'm not sure if he was the one who introduced it or did someone else start it, but first showing by Lanham. Marana as position 4 really works well. We've even seen like one mid Marana that ended up winning the game, winning the lane against the Templar Assassin, which was pretty impressive. And no surprise, Rubik has just been a stable position 4 hero that does things, and FY as a player really loves to play it, so this is where it comes from. Drow Ranger, however, this is something that surprises me, because other regions don't really play that hero, and the hero we already discussed before the start of the first game, how it feels weak, it feels super slow. But Chinese region, they
like
seem
it.
it's a good pick.
And
it's a good hero.
You can see on EHOME as well, this Slark is there, Death Prophet, but we don't really see many games as well, right? Like when you look at the hero pools, we haven't seen way too many games from Elephant and EHOME 4 series so far. We'll see how the stats mix up now after the break as well, because they had some time to chill, to watch other regions, to adapt to the drafts. And you could see even here, IO so far was, between these two teams, maybe played once as a carry so far in all of their games, and now we already see it in the first phase, in the last game, that is. So maybe some switch-ups. Elephant banning out the Shadow Shaman and the OD, so no different here. Meanwhile, EHOME getting rid of the Wyvern.
Yeah, no surprises there, but what I'm interested to see is if EHOME are going to get rid of this IO. Do they fear it in the hands of Elephant and not want to play it themselves, perhaps, as they just didn't really seem comfortable with it?
I don't think it was nothing necessarily wrong with the draft, a bit of execution problems for EHOME, so I would not be surprised if they go with the same thing once again, and they ban out Venomancer. There's something fishy going on.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because they played Veno on the mid lane in one of the series before. I believe they lost with it as well, so interesting that they are just banning out Veno.
Maybe QQQ played a pub last night, got destroyed by Veno, and he's like, no, get this hero out of here.
Not sure. I checked. Some of these players also play techies in pubs recently, so maybe even that happens. In all seriousness, I expect techies to be banned out in the first phase as much as I expect Veno. So just very peculiar. Something about these scrims, something behind the scenes that we haven't witnessed yet.
Oh, we witnessed the Venomancer yesterday, like full treatment coming out by the Venomancer in terms of feeding.
And that's why they're banning it out in the first phase now. Yeah.
Flashbacks to the Melk Award, but they
did not
win.
Winning. Yeah. So Elephant once again opening up with the Undying. No Wyvern available this time around. I want to see some attack speed. Why is Gyro not picked? Like, it's been okay. I'm loving
there
it.
You
QQQ,
go.
my man, he knows what's up.
Tusk versus the Undying. That's also very interesting. Tusk can be 5, can be 4, very flexible. We've seen it even on offlane in a couple of these leagues. Interesting opening by EHOME. Why do you like Tusk so much?
Why do I like Tusk?
What is it about Tusk?
He's such a strong laner. Like, has high armor, good stats gain overall. like it gives you Roche potential. Like, you can man up against many of the melee heroes like Ursa, Monkey King, which you think like, yeah, we can trade
just
hits.
tag
Yes, you
team up.
can. You tag team. Everyone just hits him, and it's so easy.
What are
You know, you
your-
have a block. Let me finish, Nomad. Let me finish.
Sorry.
You have a snowball
Jesus.
save. You can do so many things with that.
He's got the mustache now.
You don't
He's
stop
in
him.
charge.
Exactly.
You don't stop him when he's
Tag
talking about
team.
Tusk.
It opens up the Roche. Some offlaners that are like super tanky, like a Timbersaw. You bring 3 heroes, and with the tag team, you have enough. Even though usually you would not have enough damage.
Is this going to end?
BKB
No.
piercing ability.
No, he's talking about Tusk,
He
man.
scales.
See you
Aghanim
tomorrow.
possibility
Okay.
where you can kick people out, especially with the coil now online, but it takes time to build that up. All right, I'm done. I'm
Is
done.
that it?
That's it.
Come on.
Frozen.
Feels like you're not done,
I
though.
expected
His
more.
shard is also very good. You know,
Thank
the
you.
old sigil. If you
What
have
about the talents?
talents? Talents are okayish, nothing spectacular. You know, I think his talents are one of the laziest one in the game, especially like level 20 and 25. Like, what could we possibly do with the hero? Let's just lower the cooldown on one ability, and for 25, also do that. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. This hero used to be super contested, and I mean he still is. But if you remember, with the GPM talents, then he had the XPM talents on level 10 as well that were picked all the time. But yeah, Tusk, I think he got nerfed the hardest with the leash mechanics. That's pretty much it. What nerfed his saves quite a bit.
True,
So
true.
Suddenly you can't really use the
Yeah, root
snowball.
mechanic.
Yeah, and that kind of messed him up a little bit. But he still does what he does very well in the laning
I remember
stage.
the time when Tusk had 7-second shard. I mean, his ice shard, it was a 7-second block. It was too OP. Like, usually you don't
Very
max out
strong.
that spell.
By the way, Elephant snatched that Weaver away, so
They
they're
did.
playing it this time around. And one thing, the moment Tusk was picked, without seeing the other pick, I was thinking about Weaver. For me, this is possibly the strongest laning combo that there is in the game. Like, when you have this dual lane of Tusk and Weaver, there aren't many heroes that can play against that. But yeah, Elephant taking it away, and now EHOME following up with a puck that's right now pretty much uncontested. There are no heroes that catch him or anything like that. Elephant, they need to go into either the Shadow Shaman banned out, Lion. That's pretty much it. That's left in the pool. There's DKTA as well from the mid lane as well that you can play against the puck, but EHOME, they're flexible. They can just put him on off lane or even 5.
Absolutely.
Are
yeah.
you done, Lizard? I
Yeah,
didn't realize. I
continue
didn't
about Tusk now.
realize. You know, these were your favorite heroes because you had a really long monologue there.
Now continue about the Tusk, please.
So yeah, one reason why I also love Tusk is someone once told me that I sound like him. Like I sound like Tusk. We have similar accents, possibly.
I could believe it.
Yeah.
What are some Tusk voice lines?
Oh boy.
I
The
don't-
laugh, the oh boy, kind of close.
Oh, yeah, the
laugh,
laugh,
Well, not really, yeah.
Face bump. There we go.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I'm
back to
sold.
the other heroes. Weaver, Undying. Like, Weaver's super contested in Chinese region. This was the first showing of the offlane Weaver. Usually it's like the safe lane. You know, looks good, looks solid. Creates a lot of problems, forces enemy team to invest a lot, and if he gets the time lapse off, could backfire easily. Like, if you don't have that like 1 millisecond, 1 second of an extra lockdown, 1 extra second of stunned silence, like your whole plan kind of fell apart.
And it's not only the Chinese region, right? We've seen this Weaver picked quite a bit in EO. I think he came back as one of the possible answers to the Ursa and the Troll pickups that are right now extremely contested and picked almost every single game. So Weaver actually overall looks like a very solid carry. We have his shard as well, which is like, you see it, but it doesn't get talked about quite a bit. And okay, EHOME snatching up that Lion.
Yep.
Not
Good answer to the Weaver. Gives you some instant lockdown. You can grab him when he's invis if you're very quick on those fingers. But, you know, it's bullyable as well at the same time.
He's anti-carry, like super control coming out from Lion, and it feels like this hero is just going to be extremely popular throughout the end of the season and coming into a major if we don't have any patches. like teams figured out that Lion is a strong laner, draining mana on certain heroes. If you like remember the game when Poppy played position 5 Tidehunter, he played into Lion matchup, just drained his mana, couldn't really do much. They ended up winning the game, but you know he messes up with a lot of heroes in the lane because of that mana drain.
And also you snatch it away from Elephant, right? Because you have this Puck, Lion, and Shadow Shaman. Both of them kind of came back into the meta because of Puck.
Silence. You need stun coming out from Elephant in their next pick.
Just Dragonite.
Yes.
Just pick that DK.
Seems like a tempting option.
Yeah, TA has been banned out by EHOME, so they're protecting this Puck a little bit. Void Spirit, we've seen it work well versus Puck. We've also seen Pucks just completely trash Void Spirits into the dumpster. We'll see if Elephant will take this bait of a Puck in first phase and pick DK, or will they wait a little bit and see full hand of EHOME, because QQQ, even in that last game, you could pretty much see the pattern of his drafting. He's keeping everything very flexible, very open to finalize it with his last 2 picks.
Ooh.
There's the leash mechanic, silence, stun. What more can you ask from your position? 4-5. This is going to be 4 because
or mid.
And it's doable. You know, Grimstroke is a strong mid. I've been calling it for quite some time. Haven't seen it in Southeast Asia nor China, but from time to time it shows in Europe on a mid lane. Does well.
Yeah, I don't think it's the game for it though, unfortunately. For it to work, I think you need to make sure you can get that Inkswell off.
No, it's not that bad.
No?
Like even in this game, like the only thing that you're worried about is the Tusk, because he can roll on top of you, and you don't really like playing into heroes such as Tusk, Clock from being a core or a support.
Or Puck.
Puck more or less, because you can fake pump your Stroke of Fate on mid lane, but if Puck is calm enough, he'll always be able to dodge it pretty much.
It's a good matchup for Grimstroke.
Okay.
Grimstroke on a mid lane does well with the Puck. Doesn't care too much. You have wave clear. You have harassment. Like you can also fake pump, as you said.
Like you can fake pump it, but you have to release it, and he still has time after you release it to dodge it. That's the only problem. But you still farm, like you said. You don't care about it.
It's Grimstroke favorite matchup for sure. Tusk, he's also good against Grimstroke in terms of like being able to snowball people out of the trouble when there's like Inkswell target, so that's a good thing. Struggles against the silence, of course. They decide to go with the Mars.
There's also, if 2 targets are leashed together, then
you can't snowball.
You can't snowball them.
You can't see them. So that's a problem as well. But we'll see. Maybe they just go with the Dragonite. They go with
DK, picked up by Elephant.
Just an easier thing for them overall. You also get that Dragonite with the Blink Dagger, Inkswell onto Dragonite, blink in, stun. Then after that Inkswell stun. It's a lot of control already. Plus it's a good lane versus Puck. And you can't flex it anymore on EHOME. Look at their draft. They have Puck, Lion, Mars, and Tusk. There's no space to put this Puck somewhere else. You have to put it mid, so...
And now with this DK, it kind of makes up for the lack of stuns, as we see here in this draft Narcissus. They were lacking previously, only really having the Grimstroke Inkswell, which is kind of like, not super reliable. Now the DK comes in, makes up for that a bit, and pushes them a little bit higher on that metric, meaning that overall their draft looking very well rounded. Meanwhile, on the side of EHOME, looks like they're lacking on a bit of tower damage, a bit of Roshan damage, but you know, we always see that if a team doesn't have that carry yet, then they will be lacking on those 2 things almost every time.
It's a possibility that Elephant plays like Weaver, Grimstroke as their off lane and still pick a carry. They just banned out a Batrider. That's interesting.
Why so?
Nah, EHOME is expecting Weaver to be the carry, right? And Batrider.
And they want Dragonite to be maybe on the off lane, the mid bat. I think Batrider can be played as the off lane in certain situations, but still the best position for the hero is the mid lane, even after the nurse.
No, EHOME is just expecting the off lane, right? Like, because of the Dragonite Puck matchup, there's no... I don't think there's anything else. It's very straightforward from Elephant what they're picking. Weaver might be flexed a little bit, but I sincerely doubt it too. EHOME need position 1, and Elephant they need their offlane. As you can see, Night Stalker banned out, Bat banned out by EHOME.
That ban.
What's good here that's left in the pool? I wasn't paying. Is Beastmaster still in the pool? Beast is still there. It's an option for Elephant again.
Seems like they might go in that direction.
Alchemist.
Oh, okay. Okay, Elephant.
Okay, so
get naughty.
okay, this is now more interesting. This is way more interesting because Dragonite suddenly does not have to be mid. Like you could even put Alchemist versus the Puck. It's a good lane, but I think you picked Dragonite for that, and maybe they're still going with the Alchemist off.
It's a good lane for Alchemist as
yeah,
well.
it's a very good lane for Alchemist.
Because
too.
Puck doesn't have much armor. Acid Spray level 1 is -4, so you're sitting at 0 or -1 if I'm not mistaken on Puck, so you take a lot of damage. They don't have much time to work with. Like I think they got surprised by this Alchemist pick.
Ursa.
Good against Dragonite, good against Alchemist.
Not versus Weaver that much.
Yeah.
Gets kited.
So let's see who's gonna pick what on Elephant. Is there's gonna be like mid Alka? They have all the flexibility in the world. They can like shift all the lanes around. So it's gonna be Somnus on Weaver.
Okay.
Okay, Somnus
Yank
Weaver.
Dragonite.
The one hero we didn't expect to be mid is it's going to be the Weaver.
You know,
Wow.
Wizard, sometimes you need to think outside of the box. Nothing is set in the stone there.
Excuse me, sorry, you're so right. We'll see. I'm still going to wait and see if they're going to switch up the lanes as well. I really don't see why you would put the Weaver versus the Puck mid when you have a Dragonite and the Alchemist option, and you might even have the option to put Weaver versus the Ursa, which is the best possible solution for you out of the three. So. Nothing is set in stone. We like to think.
I don't think it's Weaver mid. Weaver needs a long lane to work.
All right, so we're
with-
expecting Somnus not playing the mid this game.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's something that's popular in China, but I don't think it's doable. I don't think you get too much out of that one.
All right, let's get those predictions very quickly.
I'm just gonna
gentlemen.
predict Elephant.
Elephant.
I just like.
I'll go with Elephant as
You'll
well.
go with Elephant. Okay. I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. I'm going to go EHOME for game number 2. This Ursa looks, as you mentioned, she's going to have a good game. I don't know. What's going to stop it?
So you just want to go against us, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, but I got to pretend that.
I see.
Alrighty, let's bring in our casters, Beakup and Black. What say you about game number 2?
Elephantus.
Me too.
Cool.
That's
Great
it.
stuff, guys.
All
Thank
right,
you for the
next game.
time-filling content. Very much appreciate
Next
that.
series, let's go. Nah, but the Alchemist looks pretty scary. I'm not sure if they're really going to put a Dragonite against the Ursa. That looks a little bit sus, as the Americans would say.
Well, you know what? We can jump into the game and find out exactly what they're doing. Beakup
That's
and
good
Black
news.
take it away for
Yeah.
game number
good news.
2.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's gonna be an interesting game. If they do end up switching the lanes, we'll have to see how Dragonite does against that Ursa. Weaver middle is generally quite strong, so yeah, we'll have to see. It's gonna be a nice surprise if they decide to switch it up, which I'm still not so sure about. But yeah,
We'll have to see.
FY on
We'll have to
his
see what they switch.
Grimstroke.
It's
It's actually a mid Alchemist and safe lane DK.
Oh.
Maybe. It's off lane DK, safe lane Weaver. Sorry. Mid Alchemist, of course, a lot of sense. Against that Puck, Euros has played the mid lane many times before, so he's no stranger to it. And it looks like a pretty damn good mid Alchemist
30
game.
seconds
He has to be
to
careful
battle.
though if he gets caught out here.
Oh,
He is
boy.
under the ward.
Gets across the mid lane, though. I don't know if he knew how close he was to just getting jumped by all 5 heroes.
Yeah. Def. 1 CS on the Puck. What did he kill? A ward?
Yeah.
He did kill a ward.
Just to elaborate on why my prediction was for Elephant, I just think that
Sure.
EHOME had such a good draft last game,
The
and
battle
They couldn't
begins.
deliver?
yeah, it does take away a lot of what I think is going to come from this team. If you've got QQQ drafting, and the two of us, we talked about it. I thought, they really
had a
had such a
much
better
better
draft.
Yeah. I mean, even this game, I would say that draft is really damn good. Alchemist can be scary, but Ursa is going to have a very free game himself. So, and Ursa is definitely a hero that can deal with an Alchemist.
We'll have to
And so
see.
it's actually Ursa middle as well. So they're doing a lane switch too. Makes a lot of sense. Ursa, one of the best laners against the Alchemist.
Red Panda getting caught here, stun, and the first
Easy
blood
kill.
for Fade. Do you think that yours is still going to hold his own? Like, how much has Ajib played mid before? Obviously, it's just the matchup. But
The matchup is terrible though. Like it's like an 8-2 matchup for Ursa, if not worse. Ajit played quite a bit of mid lane, so he's no stranger to it also. But it's really just like an unwinnable matchup for the Alchemist.
Yeah, I think if anybody can pull it off, though, it is the two-time DAC mid 1v1 champion.
It's not Aster this time, though.
Yeah, it's not. But he is the two-time.
He is. He has a lot of individual skill. But you know, in a lot of these matchups, individual skill is just not really important. Like, Ursa literally just right-clicks the Alchemist and that's all he has to do. He buys an AWP of Venom, boots, Alchemist is done.
So I expect a lot of rotations to help.
Or rotations into the jungle early from the Alchemist, yeah. Have to see which route they're gonna take.
Going into that Soul Ring early here for Eurus.
Yeah. I hope that Ursa will go for the pressure items, which is AWP of Venom and boots.
Red Panda taking a lot of damage once again and gets the decay off on the 2. Should be fine. Somnus now chasing, thinking about throwing some damage out on a Fade.
Yeah. He has a Soul Rip available as well, so there's a lot of burst potential. And they missed the Sentry Ward, so the Weaver has to be a little bit more scared.
And we saw this in the last game when Chalice was playing the Weaver, but he still laned pretty alright.
He skilled Tombstone again on Undying. Second game in a row. I'm not sure why. I feel like Soul Rip this lane could be pretty game winning.
Good two-man stun coming out from Fade, but he moves forward, I think, a little bit too far.
Tombstone.
He's got that wand to stay alive. The zombies are coming out with the decay.
This is just gonna push the lane out super far though, give him a free range creep deny. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of this early Tombstone unless you can really do much with it.
Seen a lot of different Undying builds in the Chinese region. Some just ignoring the Tombstone completely. Some going, you know, heavy into Soul Rip.
Yeah, I'm going level 2 Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see if it pays off or not.
Alchemist holding his own. He's 18-1.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't think it should be this bad for an Ursa. But of course, Ursa's also free farming. It's just more like I am surprised that the Alchemist is free farming. And he gets the best small camp spawn. 5 little goblins.
Getting that extra gold pumping up.
It's actually so much gold, that little camp.
He's got
Crazy.
the Greevil's Greed level 2.
Bot lane, Somnus is doing well for himself, but Chalice absolutely free farming as well. Safe lane Puck against DK is a little bit strange because we spoke about how DK is a counter matchup to the Puck, but they put themselves into the position willingly. Of course, to make sure that the Alchemist doesn't get pressured. I mean, that the Alchemist gets pressured more. But so far,
Ooh,
I mean,
now Ajit
should be
going
a free
after
kill,
Eurus. Should be able to just jump and finish him off.
yeah, that's how you have to play it. Good job.
I thought maybe just Ajit was playing a little bit too timid, but that's a kill that he definitely needs.
He was definitely playing too timid early on, but now he picked up the slack. It's a double wave coming in though, so the Alchemist is gonna be quite happy about that. But FYI, of course, he's here. He says, "I got you, bro. Don't worry, no wasted XP here."
Stun coming out onto the Weaver. Fade just throwing some damage out. He really hasn't paid for the aggression he's thrown towards this Weaver Undying combo just yet.
Yeah, they do have Hex and Impel available.
Tombstone
drop.
That's going to be placed down. Chalice throwing some right clicks, trying to grab himself some gold. Maybe staying a little bit too long. The damage starting to come. And now they've got the Swarm. Fade and Chalice might just die here. The damage coming through. The stun misses. They've got the Hex onto the Weaver, but it's not enough. Fade's dead. Chalice running.
2 more bites. He's fine.
No, he's fine.
Alright, maybe I have to take it back with a Tombstone. This Bug plus Zombie combo is pretty damn nasty.
They're very annoying to deal with. And now FY trying to get the Ink Swell. Ooh, okay. But shards are there from X Nova. Stun not going to matter. It is opening up space, though, for Eurus.
But they're stealing the big stack here. It's a triple stack that they're just taking away from the Alchemist.
Gotta protect these stacks, but there's not really much way for Elfin to do so at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's tough. This Ursa is very strong early into the game. Level 6 already, has that enrage to work with. But Eurus now also level 6. He's still farming very well. So he's not completely free farming, but still doing very well for himself.
Hey, 600 gold ahead of the Ursa. You'd like to see him be up a little bit more than that. We'll see if Alchemist can continue to extend his lead. Maybe get some more stacks built for him that don't get stolen.
Yeah, would be definitely nice for him. But he's probably just going to stack for himself deeper into the jungle. Yep, getting a good double stack here. Well done.
We'll say Somnus, bottom of the net worth for the cores. And they go to Tombstone
down
again. It's a little far back. Chalice on the run. God's Rebuke with the stun coming in.
Here.
And they've got the
Hex
spear.
too.
They have the control. Can they get this kill? Soul Rip's going to be the save that they need to keep Somnus alive. He takes so much aggression. They threw down a sentry to take out the Dire sentry, which was immediately, swapped out again as Dire threw down their own.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Like the Tombstone did not even spawn a zombie. Impale again on Somnus. He is going to be fine. Now turning around.
Going for Fade. That
Wow.
is such an aggressive play.
Didn't pay off at all. What was he thinking there? He could have easily escaped if he wanted to. Now Tusk rotating bottom as well. Undying does not know. He's probably just going to be dead as well. Spear up already. God's Rebuke available as well.
Oh dear. X-Nova, he's here. Tag team Shards. And the Spear in an interesting spot, but eventually they will get the kill with God's Rebuke coming out from Chalice. 3 heroes bottom, and that works out in their favor. They're clearing up this bottom lane quite well.
Yeah, DK though, completely free farming. Puck is not over 6. We'll have to see if he wants to rotate, potentially into the mid lane. Yeah, they're doing a good job here invading the Alchemist jungle, making him feel pretty uncomfortable about just farming away over there.
This is what we were expecting from them in the previous game, more pressure, and that's what EHOME's delivering now. Like, EHOME's putting the pressure on. They want to make sure that this Alchemist doesn't get a lot of farm. We missed this in the first game from EHOME, where we thought they needed to shut down the Phantom Assassin. I think they're doing a little bit of a better job here now.
Definitely doing a good job. Still only 1500 away from his Battle Fury though. They're warding up his jungle a lot.
Yeah.
Both sides are warded up. Well, he's just gonna stop the stack. But he's probably dead for it.
Oh, is he? X-Nova's coming over, and they've got help from Ajit. Inkswell, Fate.
Oh, he's
gone
careful
now.
on Ajit.
Ajit's in too far. They've
zombies
got
on.
the Tombstone down. He's going for the TP attempt. The damage is there. Eurus gets the kill.
I thought he was out after the
Got to the
DK
high
used
ground.
his stun.
Yeah.
I thought it was a mistake coming out from Yang. But just the last hit from Euros actually gets the kill. And now, that's a lot of free space for him to work with.
Dream Coil used on FY. He'll die here.
With the DD. Dragon Knight rotating up. There's not much you can do about this guy right now.
Tag team turning, but Breathe Fire. They're taking a lot of damage from this DK.
Yeah, he's too survivable at this point. Also picked up the Falcon Blade. Smoke up here. Want to catch the Alchemist again, but he's not there right now. He's further down, guys.
Who avoids him altogether.
Unintentionally. He probably would have died there if they caught him. He did not have ult available.
But Dragon Tail again onto XM, who is really playing with
Free fire?
potentially Breathe Fire is what he's playing with. Spear hits, FY on the low ground. DK coming back, Inkswell, and now turning back around, stunning up this Mars, but FY dead and in no man's land
Somnus
once
peeking
again.
in.
They'll TP over Somnus. The stun only hits
Just
on
running
the
through, he's
Undying.
crazy.
And there's the snowball. So Somnus is behind the tier 1 tower while the arena gets used over mid. Asha trying to chase, but of course he's got that Shikuchi. Red Panda and Yang throwing out some damage on the Chalice, who finishes off the Tombstone. The turnaround coming with Ajit
Spear.
and Fade following it up. Spear hits on a Red Panda, gets the kill. Dragon Tail Swarm coming through. They've got Chalice, and now they'll look over at Ajit, who needs to Earthshock away.
But it's giving a massive amount of space to Alchemist. He already
Everybody's
finished
coming
Battle Fury
over
now.
again. XM's in here too.
Battle Fury already completed now. Suddenly. Minute 10.
Boy.
Why not? Triple stack waiting at the Ancients. They have it warded up though. Can they do anything about it though? Ursa is very low. Looks like it's just a free stack for the Alchemist here. Ultimate available in 1. And yep.
There they go.
Gold and sweet.
Alchemist can snowball so damn hard. But again, this DK, this Weaver doing God's work too. They're giving him so much space.
They really are. Like, they drew everybody over mid, and I know they lost a couple numbers there in that mid fight, but that's fine when Alchemist continues to just get that Battle Fury and farm his way towards the top and well and above it. Everybody else.
Stun silence.
Themselves XM, he's silenced, he's gone. Once they've landed that silence with 4 heroes around him, he's sitting in the acid spray. There's no chance he gets out of that.
Yeah, giving all the CS as well to the Alchemist.
Radiant's bottom
That's what you want
tower
as a
is
carry,
under
you know,
attack.
good teammates, give me all the money.
Yeah.
And they didn't block any jungle camps with wards. I'm surprised. There's a lot of wards close to jungle camps, but none on top of them.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to block the camps though. They want to keep the vision and invade. That was their idea in the beginning, right? But now it's costing
Sure, but
them
with the
'cause they're-
sentries especially, you know, it's always worth to block those camps.
Okay.
Because they don't provide vision, they don't provide anything really. Now Alchemist already picked up his Yasha in just 1 minute. He farmed 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ursa is still over 1,500 gold away from his Battle Fury. Whew.
And already Yasha for Alchemist, like he's gonna have SNY. Obviously this is an Alchemist, so yeah, he's gonna be ahead, but it's starting to
4K
get
ahead
out of
suddenly.
control.
It was even just like 3 minutes ago.
Is under
Yeah.
attack.
These rotations from the DK and the Weaver did a lot of work. And they have defended all the T1 towers, which is the most important part. And we can just see this Puck struggling so damn hard. Whether it's in mid lane or in the side lane, playing against the DK is just not very fun. And his levels are struggling too, because he was on the dual lane. They kind of sacrificed their playmaker in order to give Ursa a better game, but
Is under attack.
Hasn't worked out that well.
yeah, but, not so far. Pale, they have Finger.
And they have the finger. They'll try to get the kill on the Undying Walrus Punch finish. This is drawing a lot of heroes over, so as long as this fight rages on and Alchemist continues to farm, it might be okay for them. They go to the Dream Coil, but there is the time lapse, which stuns them up, breaking the Dream Coil, Snowball, Dust, all through. They've got the Earth Spike again with the Spear. They will catch Somnus and get the kill, as it costs them a lot to get that kill.
But that's what they need to do against an Alchemist. If you kill his team a lot, at least, you know, you won't have to worry about all his teammates being super overfarmed as well. But his DK is going to be a big problem.
Yeah,
Almost enough
Somnus
gold
is
for
super
his-
underfarmed,
Yeah. Somnus is playing more of an off-lane role, really.
which is not
game.
normally what you see from
Radiant's
him.
bottom tower
He's not
is under attack.
really that sacrificial player.
I also don't know if it's intentional or not, but he's definitely struggling a lot with
Yeah.
his rotations and stuff. He's not really getting a lot of kills with his rotations. Small pause coming out here. But Alchemist is almost doubling Ursa.
He's got the Yasha, or the Sanj getting delivered, so he'll have the SNY. Going BKB afterwards, that could just be the moment where Alchemist wants to fight, but the question becomes, is that enough? Because the team's so far behind.
I mean, the team isn't like super far behind. DK is still keeping pace, which is one of the recipes for success. The initiation will come in from him. 300 gold for the Blink Dagger. I'm just a bit worried about the Weaver. He is struggling a lot. They do have good supports though for the Alchemist. They have the Tombstone as well as the Grim Stroke spells to really complement that Alchemist when he's farmed.
I wonder if Somnus is thinking Ags. Oh, he's going
He's going Maelstrom. You need Maelstrom
right
on
now.
Weaver.
Yeah, so Maelstrom Ags maybe?
It's possible. It's just he's not getting any farm on the map really.
Yeah, they're opening up space through skirmish, not any other way.
Yeah. That being said though, Puck is also really poor. And we've seen so many Alchemist games where Alchemist suddenly just runs in 1v5. They have an Ursa to deal with him though, who now also finished up his Battle Fury, flying out in the courier.
He's going Blink Dagger next, so we'll see if he could do anything with that. That mobility item is going to be a little while to farm. And that's the thing, like, you're getting a mobility
Smoke
item
up.
with all that time, where Alchemist might be getting a little bit more. They're going to go in on this. They've got the Tombstone down, but a two-man stun comes out from Fade. These zombies starting to spawn and go after Chalice as well as Fade. Fade hit with the Dragon Tail from Yang. Shards will block him, but it's not going to be in time to save this Lion, and they kind of want to go for more.
Probably won't be able to catch anyone else though. I think they should start pressuring tier 1 towers here. The Alchemist is really strong. So is DK. And Tusk is dipping out. Or is he? Yes, he is. DK was quite close, but not in range. They're probably just gonna wait for the Alchemist BKB and then it's fight time for them.
Yeah.
Even though they do have that Ursa, it's quite easy to kite him once you have the BKB. You can just break the coil.
But that's the thing, like, all he's got right now is the Battle Fury, and 2,000 gold for Ursa to get a Blink Dagger is like 5,000 for the Alchemist in that time.
Yep.
They've got the Dragon Tail as well as the Breathe Fire coming out of Chalice. They'll use the Arena up over the Arena, but they'll still get the kill on a Red Panda. They'll look for the Ink Swell. They'll abandon the Arena, leave, fall back for a second, and maybe re-engage. Dream Coil, time lapse used there by Somnus.
Mars went Desolator first item. Okay. Recognizing that they do lack quite a bit of damage, which is going to put Alchemist at just like 4 armor, which is a pretty...
Dire's top tower
It's a pretty
has
risky
been
item pickup, but it can work.
Radiant's bottom tower.
If they get on top of this Alchemist, he will die real fast.
Dire's structures are fortified.
That's
Dire's
the
top tower
question.
is under
If
attack.
Yeah, they're putting themselves at a risk, though. Oh, Somnus here.
Double Dust. They don't have Dream Coil, but they do have the Finger, so Somnus dead again.
Yeah, putting a lot of eggs into the Euros basket here. Now finish up his BKB, though. Once he gets his AC, he should be nigh unkillable. For a
Dire's
while, at
top
least.
tower has been denied.
And he's going to have that BKB. He'll have the AC
Dire's middle tower
He's
is under
filthy rich.
attack.
at a relatively decent speed with the way his farming is going. So EHOME really need to slow this down. They can't continue to allow Eurus to farm like this, but this is some of the fact that EHOME haven't been able to get the Alchemist, and some of the fact that Elephant have opened this space.
Yeah. But Alchemist is not a hero that generally can 1v5, especially against heroes like Lion and Ursa. So they will have to do something with it soon. They did open up the top tower at least, but now it's go time really. Because they're only 4k ahead. Not a good sign. Because the other two cores, DK, as well as the Weaver, are struggling quite a bit. Ursa is not too far behind, you know. 6k sounds like a lot, but could be much worse.
Ooh, Yang.
Stun on the puck.
Yeah, he already used that illusory orb. They're going to charge up the stun, but there's the snowball. And I'll throw it with the phase shift to avoid it. Soulbind onto both these heroes, which allows them to get both. And the tier 1 mid.
But Somnus again. He died to a non-blink Mars.
Wow.
Okay. Must have gotten caught unaware.
He's been looking for this Maelstrom for so long.
He has not had
Dire's middle
a
tower
game really.
has fallen.
His landing phase with
Radiant's
Rocky, where he
bottom
just
tower
went
is
in
under
and
attack.
fed pretty much. And yeah, he's not really
Dire's
picking up the
middle
pace.
tower is under
Putting
attack.
even more pressure on the Alchemist.
Has that buckler, 1,700 gold. Heaven's Halberd being built for the Dragon Knight. We talk how Ursa's the counter, but if he can't hit, he can't counter.
It's still quite a ways away though. About 2k gold. And Ursa already picked up his Blink Dagger, going into the Basher next, and then probably BKB after that. They're all not really itemizing defensively because they realize they need to be able to kill this Ursa if they catch him. And they're itemizing for that. In a team fight though, not that effective.
Right.
Ursa can get stunned or silenced really easily and then get brought down just as easily. Whoa, Lion got a Blink Dagger. They just missed the Alchemist. If they catch him there, he's dead for sure.
Yep. They would have had Finger not available, though. I don't know. 4 heroes? Probably did, right?
Yeah. Lion Hex, as well as Impale with an Ursa around, is just too much damage to handle.
Now the smoke out from Elephant. I think they kind of caught a glimpse of them trying to come over, so Elephant getting a feeling of where EHOME are on the map as they'll come in. Ajit and X Nova over to the side. Red Panda, his smoke breaks. Blink forward from Yang. Inkswell, Lion, he blinks as well. Inkswell won't land, but they've got the silence onto the line. That means no Hex, no stun. He takes it off, but now taking a lot of damage. 3-man Dream Coil into the arena. On the other side of this fight, they're trying to get anything they can to look over as Ajit is throwing some right-click damage out. They've killed off Somnus as well as FY. They've only lost Fade for this, but Chalice goes down to Eurus.
Yeah, we just see the team fight
Ursa
prowess
trying to leave.
of the Tombstone, as well as the DK. I mean, there's just too much tankiness coming out from Radiant right now, and on top of that Tombstone, it's just impossible to fight into. Really. AC, 1,000 gold away from it. Then it's Roshan time, and then we might just see this game end real fast. We see this a lot of times with this Alchemist hero. He gets this AC, he gets the Roshan, and he just keeps pummeling your base, and there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, if Ursa had died in that fight, I think it feels way worse. And
It feels pretty
saying-
bad regardless, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They did kill Weaver again, though, who just finished up his Maelstrom in a 20.
Oh dear.
But it might really not make a difference this game. AC already picked up. He is almost doubling
Oh, wow. Somnus again. Can he survive? Oh, dear.
And full health.
God.
He survived only because of the apple. It's a great item on heroes like Weaver. 260 health. And that's a free Roshan.
Yeah.
No coil. Oh, they do have coil actually. We'll have to see if they want to fight it though. It seems almost impossible to fight at this point.
FY bottom. He's dead.
Yeah, so killed by the Ursa. Got on top of him with the Blink Dagger and Earth Shock.
Ooh, Chalice. He doesn't have Blink, but he does have the Arena, Spear, Snowball, trying to steal Roche. Potentially a problem, but Eurus, he gets the Aegis. Somnus and Red Panda are already gone with X-Nova following suit.
So much
He's
damage.
dead, but the damage coming in on Chalice is too much. Eurus right-clicking away, taking out 2. They do pick up an Aegis, but it costs them 2 in the pit and 1 over bottom.
Makes you wonder what would have happened if Ajit was actually there. He kills the Grimstroke bottom and TPs to the fight. I think it can turn out really nicely for them. More people in the pit means higher chance to steal that Aegis and Roshan. Chose not to do it. I think it could have potentially been a game-winning moment for them.
Yeah.
Because this entire team was there, except him. Have to see if that will bite them in the butt later. Man, he did finish his BKB though.
It's crazy how sacrificial Somnus is right now.
We can call it sacrificial, but we can also just, say he fed quite a bit.
That's true.
Like, he had some really interesting deaths. He just, runs into 4 heroes, thinking he's really strong, but you're just a Weaver. Not actually that strong. Until you get your BKB, more items up. And this might be a problem. If this game goes late game, and the Weaver does not scale at all, they will be in trouble on Elephant's side. But right now, Alchemist is just so huge, it doesn't matter yet. Ursa, BKB picked up. At the same time, we spoke about the AC. Is his armor bugged? Yeah, he needs to drop that AC. He only has 9 armor. He needs to drop it and pick it up again. This bug happens sometimes in Dota.
Is it bugged for just us? Or?
No. Look at 37% resistance only. It's actually just bugged. Drop it. Notice it.
Dire's bottom tower
I hope it's
is
just for
under
us, but when I look at the resistance, it says 37%.
attack. Dire's structures are
Assault
fortified.
Cuirass. Armor enhanced by 0. Attack speed increased by 0.
Yeah, you actually have to drop that. Like, if he doesn't notice, that could be a big deal.
They're going to land the Spear here on a Red Panda. Chalice has quite a lot of damage. They get the kill on a Red Panda, and FY both supports taken out on the side of Elephant already. Dust used. Dream Coil coming out. That's out on a Somnus. Can they get that kill? The silence is there. Chalice with another one. He's got a double. Yours trying to fight this with the BKB Papayaji. They'll land the stun onto the DK. Yang, he's tanky, but is he tanky enough? There's the finger. There's the spear. 4th kill there for EHOME. They're starting to clean up Yours TP with BKB, and he is gone. But 4 gone on Elephant. EHOME taking advantage of that fight.
Yep, and that's what we spoke about. The team Alchemist cannot 1v5. The 2 supports die early, no Tombstone, no Grim spells. DK survives until the very end, but for what? They have no disables. It's gonna be a tough game. One more fight like this, and EHOME is back into it.
Radiant's
Take a look
top
at this
tower
replay
is
real
under
quick.
attack.
Interesting, Arena only gets around Red Panda, and they go on to this Tusk very quickly. However, this leaves Somnus by himself. He's already used the time lapse, and he's just caught in the Dream Coil. There's nothing he can do in these fights. He feels so squishy. They're basically just stepping on him immediately and squashing the bug, and nothing more that DK can do when 3 heroes are already gone on their side.
Yep. I just want to say again, I did not see any plus armor on all of his allies. I don't know if it's just a bug for us, but this could actually be pretty game-breaking if he does not realize. Might just be a number for us, I'm not sure. I really hope for them it is.
I tried putting it in his backpack and back in. Didn't
Or
work.
just drop it on the floor. Or
I
back down.
can't do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Abyssal picked
But
up
I'm not the
here.
only one though, right?
Yeah, no, it says it for me, and it says it on the observing screen as
Oh,
well.
now it works. Now it works after the smoke. I'm so confused.
Does it?
Whatever. I mean, not on him, but on his allies. I have no idea what's happening.
Hopefully spectator bugs.
I hope so too. Abyssal Blade now also picked up an Alchemist, so they have a lot more lockdown.
They're going to jump
Nova
forward.
got out.
They'll find X-Nova, get a kill on the
And
Tusk.
gone.
But it's just a 5 Tusk. It is a kill, though, there for Elephant.
Yep, and Bounty Rune secured. Well, 2 of them at least.
They still have the Aegis. They're looking for the Swift Blink next for the out. This is usually like that cap item that they need.
This is the item where you just kill everybody in 1 second.
Yeah.
You catch that Ursa, gone. You catch Mars, gone. Anyone. You're just gone.
See ya.
Radiant's
later.
top tower is under attack.
And you know, Ursa did catch back up quite a bit. 70k now. Basher completed. And they're getting the tools to deal with him.
Ooh,
Stun on
Dragon's
Chalice.
Tail. And Mars, he just gets that blink delivered, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it. They'll get the kill into the Mars. He's dead for 64 seconds. He bought out on the blink, so he's not going to have gold for the buyback.
He got caught out without using his BKB there, and it might potentially just be high ground push. He's very important to the defense. A lot of damage coming out from him.
We've seen it before.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
But
tower
Aegis
is under
running out
attack.
in 5 seconds, so Elephant probably choosing to play it cautiously.
Just expires, outer towers.
Radiant's top
I was
2 out
just
of 3
guessing, by
gone.
the way. I didn't know if I was reading the Roshan clock correctly.
Impressive.
Thank you, thank you. That's what I'm here for.
So, and disc for Fade next. Keep him alive as long as they can.
I want to see the Alchemist fight the Ursa to see if this AC is actually bugged or not. It's actually bugging me out. It's bothering me.
Do you like the Tusk Shard, the Sigil?
I mean, it's not a bad spell per se. It's just quite pricey. It is quite good though in terms of kiting, which we said they need to do. So it makes sense in this game. See? The illusions, they have it. 60%. The main hero, only 38%. I'm telling you.
If that's... I'm still wondering if it's just the spectator bot.
I have no idea. I can't let it go.
Smoke up here from EHOME. 5-man smoke down by 11k. They're kind of...
He can
still
die
in
on his
this.
Alchemist fast. If they link hex him,
Wait,
they're ready for
Dragon's Tail
this.
coming in from Yang. They've got the soul bind that's going to connect him over to the Tusk. They've got the 2-man stun. They'll look over as they take out this Mars, find X Nova, and
Disarm.
now they've got the disarm on Aji to pop the BKB, but he's trying to run. It's not going to be too much avail, though, if they can just catch him with another Dragon Tail once the BKB runs out. He'll enrage, try to run, stun charged up. That's thrown over. Urshock doesn't get him far enough away. The Bastions are in.
No
and it's a
buyback
double
as well.
kill for Eurus.
Yep, and that might just be all she wrote. That's gonna be 2 sides, more than likely. It's just so hard to play Ursa if you can't jump the backline first. This DK with the disarm as well as the stun and the frost slow from his dragon. Just too much to deal with at this point. They need the perfect fight. They need to jump the supports first.
Dire's
They
middle
need to
tower
isolate
is under
the
attack.
Alchemist last.
Dire's middle tower.
Elephant was so ready for that. They had a high ground ward. They unsmoked them, immediately jumped on top of them.
Yeah, and they're going to go for this Rax. If Ursa doesn't buy back, they might feel
doesn't have a
comfortable
buyback.
going for more. Yeah, they're going to now start to get that knowledge, though, as they go for more and more of these buildings, and Ursa hasn't bought back yet.
Yeah. Alchemist actually decided to go into an Agam Scepter first, probably for the Weaver. Hex on the Weaver.
Dream
all in.
Coil 2, they've got the Abyssal Blade that's going to hit onto the line. Illusory Orb over with a Snowball. They'll get the kill on a Fade. They'll take out Somnus, so Somnus is going to be dead for 51 seconds. They pop the Lincolns onto the puck, but they're going to continue to go after this Rax. Did they give the Ags
Dire's bottom tower.
over yet? Tusk in some trouble. Stroke of Fate. Kill on onto
Gave it to the
Tusk.
DK. Black Dragon. Let's go. 10 seconds. Cool down.
Yeah, getting that Black Dragon, the Joey Wheeler special.
Black Dragon is amazing. Like, it adds more slow. You can fly over unpassable terrain. Pucks, they're going in on the Grimstroke here. Glimmer Cape up. I don't think they'll chase this. Too risky.
Has that Black Dragon.
Yeah. Black Dragon is one of the best axe upgrades in Dota. You get this additional magic resistance. You can just fly over any terrain, as we said. You get the additional damage on the breath, the additional slow on the breath, additional splash on the breath. Additional is all it's about when we talk about the DK axe. We now picked up an Arcane Rune. Almost 100% uptime.
Yeah. Why do you think it was Joey Wheeler's favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh, dude? Because Black Dragon was strong.
Yeah, then it fused with Yugi's, which is probably Euros in this game. But yeah, he decided not to go for the Swift Blink, actually. Be a bit more of a team player.
Got it.
Yeah, getting another Axe.
Yeah, I like it. For the Weaver as well.
Tower is
Then
under attack.
all Weaver has to do is really just stand in the back line, save the DK or one of the supports on a 20-second cooldown. It's pretty damn good.
Give it to the Grimstroke instead.
Yeah. Like, now is the point in this game where EHOME just feels super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because even jumping this Weaver, last time they barely killed him.
is under attack.
And Ursa,
Somnus.
5-man smoke here.
I can't believe he's still just bottom of the net worth. This is just something you don't see from him that often. He really hasn't had a game of Dota on this one.
Yeah, doesn't matter though. His team is doing the heavy lifting. Dragon Knight isolated, but he has 4k health. They don't want to jump him.
He's massive, and he's going to blink forward. He actually misses Fade because he blinks away. Earthshock, they see the Red Eyes Black Dragon running their way, and Fade is in trouble. The Aeon Disc gets popped immediately. They're going to continue to control up this line, get themselves at least one, while on the other side of the fight, they'll find X-Nova. It's this Weaver as well as this Grimstroke going for it as XM comes in. Dream Coil committed, so that's commitment, and maybe a little bit too much commitment, as it's just the Grimstroke. Somnus coming in, looking over at XM. Right clicks, Waning Rift, silence onto the Weaver, who does have time lapse. He'll use it. They see that Roche is up. Maybe Elephant just go for that. And Black Dragon available in 5.
Should be pretty free Aegis cheese here. Although I say that they're all posturing around the pit. They probably do have to take this fight here, and they're willing to.
And they've got the arena with the BKB being popped by Somnus. They'll use that Abyss Blade once again, coming in from the Alchemist onto the Mars, charging up that
Ursa snatching
stun.
Aegis.
Ursa snatching the Aegis, but he's going to lose that first life very quickly. XM bashed up. He's dead so fast. They just have a lot of control. There's nothing that EHOME can do. Enrage, but Ajit slowed up. He can't get any damage out. He himself is going to fall. And, well, they do have buyback, but this fight is a disaster other than the fact that they snatched that Aegis, and it really just isn't enough. The snowball a little bit too late to save Chalice. X-Nova trying to get away, but the Blink Dragon Tail is there from Yang, and they'll get themselves a 4th.
Yeah, and this Ursa was just sitting at minus 25 armor from Alchemist as well as Weaver Swarm. He just died in 3 hits.
Buybacks coming in.
Yeah, Ursa also has one. Will be the last stand here.
They'll try to make the stand against the Red Eyes Black Dragon,
which is about to expire.
Dire's middle tower.
40 seconds on it not being up, but there's the Abyss Blade used. They've got themselves the Soulbind. They're trying to defend as best they can. The damage is out on XM. They'll finish off the puck, find Fade. 2 heroes gone. They don't have buyback, and they will kill X-Nova. Elephant securing a 2-0 over EHOME, despite the fact that they changed coaches on EHOME. They drafted well, but they just did not have the power to beat this Elephant side. And Elephant starting to look like they're back in form.
Yeah, if it's an Alchemist game, it's an Alchemist game.
Yeah.
Somnus underperformed quite a bit this game, but his team picked up the slack for him, so no problem there. Euros played phenomenally.
Yep.
And so did Yang, really. Both of them really shining. Couple of misplays from the supports as well, but the 2 cores, you know, if you have them in your team, you're like, yeah, we can afford a couple of mistakes. Super world-class performance. EHOME, yeah, now sitting at, what, 1-4?
Yeah.
Might be the end of the major road for them. Now fighting to stay in the league. Can they do it? They have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, they really need to tighten it up for sure. And we'll see what they have coming into the later parts of this season, as well as Elephant, who are now looking to posture themselves for a potential
3-2,
major
right?
spot. I think so, 3-2. But to break it down a little bit further, the series, the game, and the next series coming up is that panel. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, B-Cup and Black. Yes, Elephant tie things up in a neat little bow in a 2-0 series. Well done. That was a pretty neat series from them. A couple of rough edges, which I feel like other teams may have punished more, but overall, you know, this was an Alchemist game, wasn't it?
It was. It really was. Great performance by him. Great performance by the rest of the team. Everyone except Somnus. Man was trying his best to keep this game interesting. He did so, because otherwise it would just been a stomp. He got caught so many times. Didn't feel really comfortable.
Making space for cost.
Yeah, once you have like 2-3 deaths, it's called creating space, but more than that, it's just called feeding. It is what it is.
Even in the laning stage, man, that we were playing versus the Lion and the Mars, and in some situations, like, you know there's no chance he kills the Lion. He still goes for it. Somnus looked extraordinary. Not really exemplary on that Weaver, but very interesting.
Guys, feeding is a form of making space. Trust me, I do it in my pubs all the time. It works out at least like 20% of games.
I was thinking in this kind of a game, you really want to have a big Weaver, a hero that can deal with the Ursa later on as well. Maybe that's Skadi, Gleipnir, whatever. But yeah, he fed Dragon Knight, picked up the slack, and he was just.
He was more like an off lane in this game, and maybe even a position before, but Eurus played extremely well on the Alchemist, not getting a Blink Dagger, instead deciding to get the Aghanim Scepter to the Dragon Knight, big Black Dragon coming through. Like it's just one of the better upgrades in the game in terms of like what it gives for the cost, especially as a Dragon Knight. You didn't pay anything, so like, yeah, I'll take whatever.
And it really was the Dragon Knight plus the Grimstroke combination that completely broke EHOME. You could see on that mid lane as well, killing off the Puck and the Tusk here as well. In this team fight, Dragon Knight was the first one that initiated, then followed up by Dingswell on the Alchemist. So overall, it truly did feel like Yang was the moving force of this lineup on the side of Elephant. So
Eurus played like lane extremely well, even though like it's Ursa favorite, but Ursa doesn't deal that much, especially if you keep the lane on your high ground. You have that acid spray. Ursa doesn't also want to stay in that. The acid spray got also buffed, like the first stick of damage comes instantly. Not sure why that was for years, that, you know, it takes some time for you to take the instance of the damage, but yeah, now it got buffed, and you can always go to the jungle. Ursa got 1 kill, but it's not enough to slow down the Alchemist.
And overall, speaking of Ursa, I feel like Ahjit is the weak link in these two games of EHOME, at least. He did, in the first game, the itemization wasn't that great. The movement on the map were a bit too passive. In this game, I would say even the opposite. The movements on the map early on were a little bit too aggressive, going into that jungle, trying to stop the Alchemist from farming, and then just dying to 4 hero rotations.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
later on as well, there were a couple of fights in which he was
Is
just
that
not
on
a part
him,
of.
or is that on rest of the team not joining him in the adventures
A
of
little
invading
bit-
enemy jungle?
A little bit of one
Yeah, I
thing,
mean,
little bit of the other.
Because
when-
I always say the
yeah.
same thing. Like Alchemist, minutes 7 to 11, you need to be in his face, not necessarily kill him. If you have a hero that can just follow him so that he doesn't feel safe going into a camp and actually killing it, you're doing so much.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, leaving that down to your position 1 to do that job is probably not the right idea, but, you know, he was a mid laner, so maybe he could have been that, but he needed the support, and I think I like the fact that he was trying to make plays early on, and I kind of saying that Ajit was making the right decisions early on in the game, but unfortunately, you know, it didn't really transform into much because he was just so I mean, I don't know, why didn't we feel the presence of this Aster? Because it was, by all intents and purposes, a good Ursa game. The Weaver was poor.
It was the disconnect with the team. It wasn't like you can say that his team was the problem, but it's a team game, and they should.
Do you have any beef with Ajit,
No,
Lizard?
no. I'm saying this. They should.
Sounds like it to me.
They
Let's
should
get that Reddit
discuss
post going, guys.
these things. If he's going in, his teammates should be there. Later on, when his teammates are there, he is not. So there is a little bit of a disconnect. Maybe some language barrier issues. He's from Malaysia, obviously, but X-Nova is as well. So they
Maybe
should.
X-Nova's like the translator in this.
I'm not exactly sure what the problem was, but it was very apparent. in this last
My
game.
issue here was the issue that I've seen is Puck playing the safe lane. Again, he's playing into Dragon Knight matchup, which is not a good matchup for Puck, and then you're leaving like your playmaker to not have enough levels while your mid laner is trying to do stuff, overextend, gets killed. Puck is not there because, you know, it's a different way when you're playing a safe lane instead of a mid. You don't get that many levels. You don't feel much comfortable invading the enemy jungle, so I can understand that part.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, when it's an Alchemist game, it's an Alchemist game, and when you got an Alchemist player, they're going to be the MVP. So there you go. Have your freebie, Eurus. Take it and run with it, as Alchemist will be our MVP for this one. You know, he's doing the work. He's
I would
getting
still
the
give
money.
it to Dragon Knight, to Yang. I feel like that DK was on point overall. Eurus, he played the Alchemist game. He was the Alchemist in an Alchemist game, like you just said. He farmed his creeps. He was on point in a couple of these rotations, but I feel like Dragon Knight really did the heavy lifting in that mid game as well, with a couple of pickoffs on Puck.
1.15 thousand GPM. Jesus.
Imagine not picking him up as MVP with with that GPM.
Yeah, that GPM is
Not
it's
good enough for Lizard Eurus. Get in the bin.
still not the full bar. Still not the full bar.
That's not the
Yeah,
full bar,
it's not
is it?
like it feels like Lizard is part of the production. They're never satisfied. Like,
No, are they?
sorry, bar not full.
No. That's Black's Black standards. That's what it is. These bars, as you guys might already know, they're all based on Black's performances historically. So They can never
gotcha.
be.
I think it's
fulfilled.
like you can play better. You can always do better. If there were like
it's
two more,
motivational.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If there's like 2 more creeps camp stacked, he would have higher GPM. So it's doable.
Yeah, or like my parents, you know. Hey, you could do better, you know. I don't know. I never got A's. Anyway, that's about it for this series. Of course, we've got another series just around the corner. Might be a little bit of time before that one starts off. Don't forget, they are in a LAN setting, so they need a bit of time to swap things around, you know, get the keyboard switched and everything like that, and of course, following the proper safety procedures in these unprecedented times. But don't worry, as we will be back with the second series of the day, and that one's going to be Vici Gaming versus Aster, so don't go anywhere, as we've got that series just around the corner. We'll see you soon.